known as the First Lady Coach, and I equip seasoned pastors' wives to have the clarity, the confidence, and the courage to walk boldly into the destiny for which she was chosen by being perfectly who God created her to be. Hello, hello. It is Sunday, and time for another First Lady Coach moment. So, as you're coming in, say hello. Let me know that you are there. Once again, I am Dr. Janice R. Love, also known as the First Lady Coach. And again, I equip seasoned pastors' wives to have the clarity, the confidence, and the courage to walk boldly into the destiny for which she was chosen by being perfectly who God created her to be. So, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully, as you're coming in, you let me know that you are there and I can say hello to you. Who is out there today? Hey, Deborah, good to see you. How's it going today? I just got back from a wonderful vacation on the East Coast. Had a fabulous time, and there is nothing like blue crab. And me and hubby had plenty of it. Just a little short vacation just to get away. So I'm giving you time, you guys, a little time to come in. Hey, Vanita, good to see you. So, yes, I am coming from a wonderful vacation, and I am just happy, happy, happy to have gotten away. All right. So we're gonna try the same little routine we did on last time, and we are going to kick it off here. But today I am going to be talking about the remarkable health benefit of knowing who God created you to be. All right, so this is going to be fun, you all. So here we go. Let's kick this thing off. All right. So let me tell you all a story. Have I ever told anybody that I always wanted to be an athlete when I was growing up? So I was a cheerleader, I was in the dance squad, and I did all kinds of fun things, but I always wanted to be an athlete. So, elementary school, I tried doing a little bit of gymnastics, right? And then I kind of outgrew that. Then I went on to try track. And I wasn't quite as fast as I wanted to be. And so by the time I got to high school, I kind of focused on dance and cheer and that kind of thing. But I remembered that my sisters were extremely good at volleyball. And so I decided I was going to join the volleyball team. Guess what? I was actually a pretty good volleyball player. Now, my position was the setter. Okay. The setter is the one that sets it up for the taller ladies. Me being 5'3", I was one of the smaller ones or more petite ones on the team. And so I would set the ball up for the taller ones to spike it. All right. So I was pretty good at the game. In fact, I actually became a very good setter and kind of figured out that that was my spot. But let me tell you about where I struggled. Okay. And if anybody comes in here who was on the volleyball team that I went to high school with, you don't have to say anything. All right. But where I struggled was that I could set the ball. I was fantastic at setting the ball, but I was the lousiest server that you had ever seen. Now, back in the day when we used to play in the neighborhood, I would serve underhanded and I could get away with it, right? The ball would get over the net some kind of way. But when we got to high school, we had to do it the professional way, which was the overhead method of serving the ball. So I wasn't very good at that. And in fact, every time I went to serve the ball, I froze, I choked. Okay. And the ball would just fizzle out and it would never make it over the net. And after a while, because I failed at it so many times, I convinced myself that I wasn't good enough when it came to serving the ball. In fact, I convinced myself I wasn't even a good volleyball player anymore. Never mind that I was probably one of the best setters that came through there, but I had convinced myself. And every time I would step up to the line to try to serve that ball, then I would just get afraid. I would have this anxiety. And 9 times out of 10, the ball was not going over the net. So after a while, I developed a low self esteem in the sense about being a volleyball player. So whenever we would have practice, I would spend all of my time focusing on trying to serve the ball. So I would practice, 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 but each time, every time I got up to the line, I got scared. The anxiety kicked in. That all that talk about what I couldn't do jumped right in, and before you know it, again, I wasn't successful. So, you know what? It takes a good coach to help you to really realize who you are and what your strengths are. So, my coach, being a good coach, says, Janice, quit worrying about what you can't do and let's focus on what you can do. So it didn't take long for him to constantly keep me practicing setting because that's what I was good at. And as long as I tried to continue to do something that I wasn't good at, the more I was going to choke, the more I was going to fail. So what the coach did, and that this helped me tremendously, was he helped me to realize that my strengths were in setting and not in serving the ball. Okay. So what he would do is when it came time for me to serve, he would pull me out of the game. Now, when he first did this, I felt some kind of way because the last thing you want to be is pulled out of the game, right? But after a while, I understood what he was doing. He was keeping my confidence up by taking me out when it was time to serve so that I could come back right in and do exactly what I was created to do on that team. I was created to be a setter. And once I realized the value of being a setter and all the gifts and talents that I had, number one, being shorter than everybody didn't matter anymore because I was able to get up under that ball and I could set it up. And, I learned some things about being a setter. Number one, meaning that the setter is the lead person on the team because they are the ones that has to get in there. They have to be the one that does the second hit. They're the number one person on offense, right? Because if the setter isn't there doing what the setter needs to do, then it is going to be bad for everybody else. So not only is the setter good at helping the team to win the game, but they're also a leader. Again, they know the game, they know who the hitters are, and they also have the ability to make quick decisions. So when that ball was coming over at 50 miles an hour or even higher, then I had to be the one to move into place. So when I began to see the strengths I had in being a setter, then that made things a whole lot better. So there may have been times in your life where you have been trying to do something that you had failed at before, and perhaps it wasn't the thing that you were supposed to do. And as a result of that, you lost track of what you could do. Do you see where I'm going with this? So when I was able to realize the strengths and the benefits of being a setter, that actually did wonders for my self esteem. It changed things all over the place. So I had said I was going to be talking to you today about the benefits, right, of being the remarkable health benefit of knowing who God created you to be. So think about as we go on this journey to find out who we are and who God created us to be. When we are trying to do things that God did not create us to do, that causes our self-esteem to lower tremendously. And did you know that lowered self-esteem is also associated with a higher, don't believe me? There has been research that has been done that shows that when we exhibit lower self esteem and we are faced with anxiety, that actually raises our blood pressure. Now, they've done studies where they looked at people with high self esteem, individuals with low self esteem when it came to moments of anxiety. Those with low self esteem, not knowing again perhaps who they were or what they were created to do, they had more anxiety. It came to those moments where they struggled. And as a result of that, that raised their blood pressure. So, the remarkable benefit of knowing who you are and not having that anxiety about who God created you to be, trying to be out there doing things that are not yours. The remarkable benefit is you have actually lowered your blood pressure. Are you with me? So again, just going back to my volleyball example, when I was anxious about stepping up to the plate to hit the ball and kept believing all those things that I had planted in my mind that I couldn't, that I shouldn't, that I was incapable of doing those kinds of things, the more anxiety came into my mind, the lower my self-esteem went, and the higher, most likely, my blood pressure went. So if you have been struggling in that area, where you may even be dealing with some high blood pressure, or you may be experiencing some of the actual things that happen to you, or some symptoms of having lower self-esteem, then it's time for you to know exactly who God created you to be and what he has created you to do, so that you don't have to worry about having that anxiety when it's time for you to walk boldly into that destiny for which you were called. So, as I share this story, again, I want you to think about your own life and those areas that you have anxiety about, especially if it relates to having that clarity, the confidence, and the courage to walk boldly into the destiny for which you were chosen. If you can't be perfectly yourself, then you are going to constantly be dealing with that anxiety, worried about whether or not you're good enough, whether or not what you are have been created to do. So I'd love for you to follow me at thefirstladycoach.com, where again, I equip seasoned pastors' wives to have that clarity, the confidence, and the courage to walk boldly into the destiny for which she was chosen. Guess what? By being perfectly who God created her to be. So, once again, hopefully, you can now see that there is a remarkable benefit of knowing who God created you to be. So, again, thank you for joining me for the remarkable of knowing who God created you to be. So, once again, thank you for joining me. I am Dr. Janice R. Love, also known as the First Lady Coach, and I equip seasoned pastors' wives to have that clarity, the confidence, and the courage to walk boldly into the destiny for which she was chosen by being perfectly who God created her to be. So, here we go out of here, but stay tuned for follow up comments. All right. So, who's out there? Thank you so much for joining me on this evening. I love sharing stories that give me divine revelations about who we are created to be, and to help those who may be struggling along this journey. Now, again, I typically work with seasoned pastors' wives, and so often we are dealing with anxiety because we have gone through our lives focusing on what our husband has to do, and we often don't begin to ask God who we are, what he created us to do, other than walking beside our husbands and supporting them along the journey. So that's why I am so passionate about helping women to be exactly who God created them to be, and to be able to walk boldly into that destiny. So, how's everybody doing out there? Let's see who we got here. Deborah, how you doing today? We got Kevin. Thank you in the ATL. So, Benita, thank you for joining me. So, again, if you don't know anything about me, visit me at thefirstlady.coach.com or janicerlove.com. Also, I welcome and invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel that I now have. It's called Dr. Janice R. Love. So, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's why I'm doing all these little, trying to do these little fancy things here because I am trying to move towards making my recordings so that I can put them on YouTube. All right, so definitely join me. Go out to Dr. Janice R. Love and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you are watching me from Facebook, definitely follow me, the First Lady Coach. Follow me there. If you are on LinkedIn, follow me at Dr. Janice R. Love, the First Lady Coach. All right. So once again, thanks everybody for coming out today. So good to have you. And we will see you next time. I come out here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time for another First Lady Coach moment. So again, thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time. Until then, be blessed. Bye bye.